Hey gamers, I'm Ascadelia from the All Play team, and today we are charging into the world of GRUNTZ, a new two-player tactical strategy game designed by Carter Scott with art by Lorenzo Colangeli and Philip Gavrel that plays in 20 minutes. In GRUNTZ, you'll command infantry, tanks, trucks, and aircraft in a tactical battle full of rock, paper, scissors style counterplay. GRUNTZ are slow-moving and can't defeat every enemy unit, but they're one of the only units that can capture control points in the middle of the battlefield. Fighters and bombers dominate the skies, but carefully placed anti-air vehicles can shut them down instantly. And when you deploy tanks and trucks, you'll customize them with magnetic attachments. Add cannons for firepower, transport bays for troop deployment, or anti-air defenses to lock down flight paths. For this how to play, we'll also be using the upgraded components, which replace the cardboard aircraft and victory stars with chunky plain meeples and hefty metal victory stars. It also includes upgraded pieces for the supplies expansion, which we'll let you discover on your own. Your goal is simple: capture control points to become the first player to earn 3 victory stars, or capture the enemy HQ with your captain. So let's get set up. To set up, place the map between both players with each player's HQ, the star space, facing them. Place the 5 victory stars nearby. Each player gathers all of their units in front of them. These are your reinforcements. Finally, hand each player a player aid, which includes helpful reminders for movement and attachment abilities. One player becomes the attacker, and the other becomes the defender. You can decide this randomly, or preferably through an ancient tradition of declaring war. Rock, paper, scissors. Anyways, before we continue, let's quickly look at the map. These shaded spaces are your backline. Infantry and vehicles deploy here. This star space is your HQ. Protect it, because if the enemy captain reaches your HQ, you immediately lose the game. These red spaces are the control points. Holding these with GRUNTZ or your captain is how you earn victory stars. These cloud spaces are airspaces. The contrails connecting them are flight paths, which aircraft move along. Only aircraft can occupy airspaces, and your aircraft deploy into the backline airspaces on your side of the map. For deployment, after deciding who is the attacker and defender, each player deploys 3 units from their reinforcements, with the attacker deploying all 3 first, followed by the defender. You may choose any combination of infantry, vehicles, and aircraft. Each deployed unit must be placed in an unoccupied space in your back line. We'll cover some additional deployment rules later, but first let's talk about how to win and how turns work. There are 2 ways to win GRUNTZ. The first is through victory stars. At the end of your turn, if you are holding at least 2 control points with GRUNTZ and/or your captain, you earn 1 victory star. If you're holding all 3 control points, you earn 2 victory stars instead. The first player to earn 3 victory stars wins immediately. The second way to win is by capturing the enemy HQ. If your captain moves onto the enemy HQ, you instantly win the game. Now, let's look at turn structure. The attacker takes the first turn. On your turn, you can either move 1 unit and deploy 2 units, or move 2 units and deploy 1 unit. One important rule is you must complete all move actions before taking any deploy actions. To take a move action, select 1 unit on the map and move it according to its movement rules. If you choose 2 move actions, you may either move 2 different units or move the same unit twice. Now let's look at how each unit moves. Starting with infantry units. GRUNTZ and the captain can move 1 space orthogonally and diagonally. However, the GRUNTZ can attack enemy GRUNTZ, captains, and trucks. And whenever the captain moves, each adjacent friendly GRUNTZ must move with it if possible, including diagonal GRUNTZ. GRUNTZ following a captain's move may attack during this movement, but the captain itself cannot attack at any time. When destroyed, both GRUNTZ and captains return to your reinforcements to be deployed again when needed. Both GRUNTZ and the captain can hold control points, but only the captain can capture the enemy HQ. Next, vehicles. There are tanks and trucks. Attachments affect combat abilities, which we'll go over later, but movement comes from the vehicle base itself. Tanks move up to 2 spaces orthogonally in a straight line. Tanks can only be attacked by bombers and vehicles equipped with cannons. Trucks move up to 3 spaces orthogonally or diagonally in a straight line. And finally, aircrafts. Fighters move along flight paths between airspaces. Fighters can attack GRUNTZ, captains, trucks, fighters, and bombers. Basically, fighters can attack everything but tanks. They do this by moving along a flight path with no enemy anti-air attachments, destroying all enemy units in the path except tanks. Bombers also move along flight paths. Bombers can attack tanks and trucks, but cannot attack infantry or enemy aircraft. Before moving on to deployment, let's go over some important movement rules. Only one ground unit may occupy each space. If a ground unit moves into a space containing an enemy unit, it can attack. That enemy is destroyed. Ground units cannot move through or into spaces occupied by friendly units or enemy units that cannot attack. Attacking immediately ends that unit's move action. If a unit wants to move and attack again in the same turn, it must use another move action. And as a reminder, destroyed grunts and captains return to reinforcements to be used again, and destroyed vehicles and aircraft are permanently removed from play, including their attachments. For aircraft movement, remember that aircraft always occupy airspaces and move along flight paths. Only one aircraft can occupy each airspace. Unlike ground movement, aircraft can move through any number of friendly and enemy ground units. Destroying each enemy ground unit their aircraft type can attack. However, aircraft cannot move along flight paths connected to enemy anti-air attachments. If a fighter moves into an enemy airspace containing another aircraft, that enemy aircraft is destroyed and removed from play. Note, bombers cannot attack other aircraft. Now for deploy actions. After completing your move actions, you may take your deploy actions. Each deploy action allows you to deploy one unit from your reinforcements onto the map. Units cannot deploy into occupied spaces or directly onto control points. Ground units deploy into friendly backline spaces, including your HQ. Aircraft deploy into backline airspaces. If you have no remaining units of a type in reinforcements, you cannot deploy more of that type. Transport vehicles add one extra option. Grunts may deploy adjacent to friendly transport vehicles, representing troops unloading from the vehicle. Now for attachments. Whenever you deploy a tank or truck, you'll attach one available upgrade from your reinforcements. The cannon can attack all enemy ground units. The transport cannot attack, but allows grunts to deploy adjacent to it. And the anti-air can also not attack, but blocks enemy aircraft movement along all connected flight paths passing through its space. After your deploy actions, count how many control points you occupy with grunts and/or your captain and earn the corresponding number of victory stars. If you earn your third victory star, you immediately win the game. Otherwise, your opponent begins their turn. Play continues until a player earns 3 victory stars or a captain captures the enemy HQ. And that's grunts. Now get out there, battle it out, and see who the superior commander really is. If you like this 2-player game, you may also enjoy Sail, a cooperative trick-taking adventure where you and a partner navigate dangerous seas while avoiding the Kraken. Or check out Golden Goal, our tiny box soccer showdown where every move matters as you fight for the overtime winning goal. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe as you can stay in the loop on all things All Play. And until next time, happy gaming!